now, we welcome back to the show House Majority Leader and old friend Steve Scalise of the great state of Louisiana. Thank you, Steve, for doing this. You know, I wanted to clear something up. The House passed a very comprehensive border security bill. I believe it was H.R. 2. And it had the wall in it. It had Remain in Mexico in it. Had a lot of important things in it. Now, Kamala Harris last night said Donald Trump was sabotaging closing the border because he didn't like the so-called compromise in the Senate. So we went and looked at the numbers, Steve. The compromise in the Senate would have been 4,000 a day and 1.5 million over a year, which I mean, I don't like. Trump had it down to 400, 500,000. The executive order that Biden put in, which he said he didn't have the authority but did, that was 2,500 a day, would have kept it under 1 million. In other words, the executive order was better than the compromise in the Senate, but the best bill was your bill, H.R. 2. Maybe you could talk to this. Another, you know, discrepancy or little white lie from Harris last night.
Yeah, just a convenient thing that they forgot. By the way, Kamala Harris is against H.R. 2. She is against that bill because our Border Patrol agents tell us it would be the strongest border security bill we ever had. And you don't baseline 1 million people coming into our country every year as being okay. It's not okay. Maybe for Kamala Harris, having 1 million people a year is fine. Most Americans say, stop this flood. Let's get a secure border. Donald Trump knows how to do it. Most of this can be done through executive order, but H.R. 2 shows how to get it done. They can't even pass the Senate bill, but we passed the House bill, even with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris opposing that tough border security measure. You
know, Steve Scalise, at this late date, you know, after these conversations and whatnot, I still don't hear. The Democrats don't want to build a wall. The Democrats don't want Remain in Mexico. I don't think the Democrats wanted to replace Title 42 for that matter. I mean, I give them, it's still a D-, even though they have an executive order they said they couldn't use.
Yeah, they could do all of those things, and they refuse. I mean, they've made a conscious decision to have an open border. And we've seen the deadly consequences. You know, it's not just the millions of people coming in illegally. You know, it's the wreckage, the carnage. I mean, deaths every day. Donald Trump was at the border again yesterday talking, bringing some of these parents who have lost their kids. You know, how many is enough? Kamala Harris doesn't care about those families who are losing their kids through her open border policy. All of these things that she said, like last night, you know, wish list of trillions of dollars of spending, more inflation. That's what we would get. She's the one, by the way, who cast a deciding vote to double the size of the IRS to go after people who are paying tip wages. While she's saying she's against tax on tips, she's not. She's not for any of those things. She wants higher taxes, more inflation, higher gas prices, and an open border. We need a change. We need Donald Trump.
Majority Leader Scalise, what did you think about the Robert Kennedy Jr. endorsement of President Trump today?
I thought it was strong. You know, he's been out there hustling, building a coalition all around the country. There are a lot of people that have been buying into his message. And, you know, the Democrats have done everything they can to shut him down, to keep him off ballots, to end democracy. They love talking about democracy. You know, they literally just threw 14 million of Joe Biden's votes out the window to throw him to the curb and bring in Kamala. And then they want to end this, you know, what Kennedy's been doing. I think Kennedy is going to help Donald Trump. You know, he talks about a lot of those same kind of populist messages, fighting for working families. They are hurting working families. Kamala has led the charge to hurt working families, and they've never laid out a single thing that's going to help those families who are struggling. It's more spending, more taxes, and more government, and somehow that's going to fix the problems that she created over the last 3.5 years. I think most people get it.
You know, she's running away from it. She doesn't want to talk about it. Of course, the price control is a crazy idea, and another $2 trillion in spending. But she's got a whole string of tax hikes, unbelievable tax hikes, corporate taxes, capital gains taxes, wealth taxes, unrealized capital gains taxes. If it moves, she's going to tax it. It reminds me, Steve, my old dear friend, the late Jack Kemp, you can't tax your way into prosperity. And capitalism needs capital. But then again, she's not capitalist, is she? Give you the last word.
She's never been for capitalism. She's for higher taxes, more government. And that's why the middle class is being crushed right now.
Steve Scalise, thank you ever so much. Be back with my last word.